Good morning, students. I hope that you had gone through all the previous lecture videos in which we had covered up the elements of physical science lesson and the importance of a good lesson plan. And also we had already discussed the learning objectives. And we had also discussed in previous lecture, what is the importance of pre-existing knowledge and how we can check the pre-existing knowledge of a student. And now in this lecture we are going to start our another most important topic of physical science pedagogy, that is planning ICT applications. As you can see that in your first unit syllabus there is a term here. It is, as you can see, that here is a term that planning ICT applications in learning science. Okay, so this is a thing which is we are going to start now in this lecture. So I hope before starting this topic, I recommend that first you should gone through all the previous lecture videos so we can start this topic and you can understand well. Okay, so let me tell you that when we try to make any type of lesson plan in present scenario, so as you know that nowadays the information communication technology is widely used in every aspect of the life. No matters if you are in a office work or a household work, if you are running a school or you are a teacher or even you are a student, ICTs, information communication technologies, are the biggest part of our life. And the ICT, that's why, is the biggest weapon and biggest tool to manage the classroom, to give effective teaching. So as you can see here that planning ICT application we are now going to discuss. So that present age may be called an age of technology, and the age of technology, and technology has its impact on all walks of life, but perhaps its impacts on communication cannot be questioned, of course. So the effect of communication technology in communication cannot be questioned. Why? Because it is the effective thing which is going in nowadays. So that's the teaching learning process, which is basically a communication among all those stakeholders taking part in the process, can certainly be enriched substantially by employing information and communication technology in the form of recorded audio video presentation, video conferences, overhead projectors, science films, computer, along with its various softwares and email applications. Now, available by the teacher, a teacher can surely make use them to enhance the quality of classroom communication and enrich the teaching learning process. So, if in a comprised way, we can say that technology and software have the potential to minimize the distance between learner, teacher, and resources. Most of the time, as you can see that in any type of classroom, in any classroom, most of the dimensional structures you had seen, that education is a triangular process. It is, teacher, student, and curriculum. Okay, so interaction between teacher, student, and curriculum gives us the whole soul process of any type of teaching. So here the curriculum decides us the what resources we have to use to teach the students. Okay, so we can replace the curriculum with resources. So basically technology and software have the potential to minimize the distance. ये जो distance है the teacher and the learner, due to lack of communication, due to lack of wrong pronunciation, wrong descriptions, and sometimes due to hesitation by the student, or sometimes for teachers also, the distance of the student and learner will be very broad. So technology helps us to minimize that distance, minimize that that part, so that teacher and student can establish a rapport between each other. You see, in any type of teaching, no matters you are a science teacher or mathematics or you are a language teacher, always remember that a teacher should always establish a rapport with the students. Rapport means uh, something which is some type of feeling which can decide that whether the two person can trust each other. Okay, so rapport is the feeling of trust basically. So as a teacher you should establish the rapport between your students, and that rapport can minimize the distance between you and your students. And information communication technology basically helps us to establish the rapport and a good positive atmosphere in the classroom corresponding to any type of lecture or any type of topic. Now, so for planning the ICT applications, for planning the information communication technology, and as you know that ICT is the very biggest part of education technology. ICT is a part of educational technology. Okay, it is biggest part of educational technology. So either we can say the planning of ICT applications, or we can say the planning of educational technology, that can also become in the same ambit. Well, moving ahead, we are now going to discuss the how steps, what are the things which we have to consider before planning any type of ICT application. So that is here we are. So learning resources beyond the classroom and enable to play the role of a true facilitator of learning. It is desirable that administrative level creative creates a supportive infrastructure to integrate ICT in curriculum by allocating resources for preparing teaching learning material and building a comprehensive program for teaching learning of physical science. As you know that most of the schools nowadays, either it's CBSE affiliated or UP board, they had already introduced the smart classes in their curriculum. There will be a smart boards, smart classes, and it is just an example of ICT. So if there is any school which is planning to introduce the ICT application in its campus, it should be very entertaining and it should be motivated. But sometimes it is being seen that the schools have been developed the ICT labs, but still they are not using properly. So this is the biggest problem in ICT application. Before ICT applying, teacher must be very qualified to use ICT application. Qualification. Qualification means skillful. यहाँ पर qualification का मतलब skills से है. As you know that in the present scenario there is a COVID-19, a global pandemic is going over there, due to which our schools and colleges are locked. There are no teaching going over there, and that's why we are providing you this online platform. But the most of the times it is being said that it is being seen that most of the teachers who are who's coming from the very late era, or we can say in the previous generation, they are not very technical handy. Their technical hand is little bit loose, so that's why they are not feeling comfortable while teaching on any type of smart board or any type of laptop or tablets, etc. So before understanding the planning of ICT application, you must prepare yourself first. Okay, you have to develop your technical skills. You have to develop little bit computer proficiency so that you can understand the ICT applications also. Okay, so here are some principles I'm going to tell you, which is related to planning of ICT. The first principle is encouraging contact between learner and the teacher. Of course it is necessary, this is the first principle. And the second one is developing reciprocity and cooperation among the students. It is most important while introducing the ICT applications, that most of the work is being reduced and minimized. So while minimizing the work, while minimizing the classroom work, we must motivate students to perform some group activities, some group tasks, so that we can engage them in the activity where they can learn by doing their own self. Now the third one is active participation of the learner. It is the same way which I'm already told you. Now the providing prompt feedback. This is the most important time. Prompt feedback. Feedback. while teaching through ICT, it is important to take the feedback from the student, because in the absence of feedback, you cannot determine that whether the students are getting your points or not. So feedback is necessary, and feedback also helps us to improve ICT. To improve ICT. Okay, for the improvement of ICT applications, feedback is very necessary. Okay, and the biggest example of that, that if I'm talking to myself, then in this COVID-19 era, when I started the online classes, so I make the numerous type of videos on different platforms. I use table talk video. I used to make laptop screen recording video, which I'm right now I'm making. I used to make the classroom board recording, different type of videos I had made, and every time I evolve myself, and student give me the feedback that sir, please do this, do that, and then from the feedback of students, finally I make myself to to that extent that now I can give any type of lecture online to any class of student. So this is the importance of feedback while you are using ICT applications. So I must tell you that ICT applications is based on the actually prompt feedback. Okay, so that's the fourth principle, and which is important. Now the fifth one is respective diverse talents and ways of learning. As you know that each and every learner is different. Most of the time it is being said that the same problem can be uh, happening in most of the learners, but there are some learners whose way of learning or their diversified talents are different with the other class or with the whole class. So we have to make our ICT application so much comfortable, so much flexible, so that each diverse talent of the students can understand your content very easily. Well, so now moving ahead, so while above points can be arguments, these are given our illustration of similar situation in a well provided teaching learning experiences with or without the use of ICT. So now the teaching learning of science with emerging technology requires their basic 4 points I have made for you. That one is a spirit of experimentation. A spirit of experimentation. You have to be curiosity, you have to develop your curiosity about the experiment towards the student. So if you have the spirit of experimentation, then definitely you will learn the use of ICT application very easily. Willingness to engage learner in creation of learning resources. You have to will, you have to develop a willpower so that you can engage the learner in the creation of any type of learning resources. Third one is willingness to rise above the traditional approaches. As you know that traditional teaching is quite different from the normal today's teaching. So you have to develop the willpower to switch yourself from traditional teaching to advanced teaching, and the tolerance to failure. You have to much tolerant towards your failure, because when you fail to develop any type of ICT application, don't discourage yourself. Always feel encouraged towards the developing more and more enthusiastic and more creative ICT application, because when you try, definitely you will fail for the first time, but when you try and try and try, then definitely one day you will get succeed in your task. So the basic fundamental part of the ICT application, that we have to first understood these principles. Okay, you can take the screenshot, guys. Okay, you can take the screenshots while I'm teaching the lesson. You can take the screenshot. These screenshots will help you to develop your own notes. Okay, so these are the five principles. These are five basic principles which are important for developing ICT application. You have to remember this, and most of the time in exams it is being asked to yourself for writing in a long answer or short answer type questions. And the most important is these four attributes of the teacher. These are the attributes. These are the teacher's attributes which are necessary to develop the ICT application. If any teacher want to develop ICT application, he or she must have these four attributes in himself or herself. Without these attributes, definitely you cannot make a good ICT application. You have to develop the spirit of experimentation, willingness to engage students, learners, willingness to rise above from the traditional teaching to modern teaching, and you have to tolerant enough to tackle your failure. Okay. Now, so discuss on various networking systems, web, seminars, quizzes, and video conferencing can be various forms of ICT applications. I don't think that I have to tell you the types of ICT applications and the webinars, seminars. You have already understand, you have already know, you are the students of 2020-21, and definitely you will be very well aware about different softwares, webinars, online quizzes, video conferencing. These are very normal terms for you. I hope that you can understand these terms. So students can be asked to read a text available on a reviewed website or listen to audio or video presentation. So use of ICT provides opportunity for enrichment of the learning of teaching learning experience. So this enrichment can make the teacher free from the trivial issues and discussion of the classical classroom. Okay, so these are the basic points which today we are discussed, and here there is a one project. It is 12.1. So it is just activity. If you want to perform, then you can do that. So suitably designed e-material can be a source of self-learning for students and help them to become independent learners. As you see, as I'm told you that teaching most of the teaching platforms, as you know, that like Byju's, Vedantu, Unacademy, GradeUp. There are numerous type of teaching platforms are available on which their different courses are available. They had developed their e-material. E-material means electronic material, which can be accessed by paying them, of course. And from their material, by step learning, you can self learn any type of courses. Most of the online courses are running by MOOC platforms. MOOCs, I'm telling you the MOOCs, massive open online courses. Massive open online courses is the initiation by the Commonwealth countries to enrich the distance education. Okay, so this is the same thing which is I am trying to make you understand that e-material, if you developed any type of e-material by using ICTs, well, then definitely by your material student can understand and learn their own self. Okay, so this is the importance of planning a good ICT application. Okay, so here we are now concluding this video. In the next video lecture, we will cover up the reflective planning. What is the reflective planning? How we can understand the planning reflectiveness. So till then, you can like the video, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you, students.